Some are proposing that the Congress could instruct the FCC to lower the reporting threshold for the Hart-Scott-Rodino Act so that there's more transparency into the types of acquisition activity going on. Would you be in favor of that?
We're conducting a study right now at the acquisitions that tech companies are undertaking. But what we've seen over the course of our experience with Hart-Scott-Rodino is that a lot of transactions, the overwhelming bulk of the transactions that we see, aren't even remotely competitively interesting. I haven't seen the specific legislative proposal, but what I can say, what we are seeing is this. M&A in this crisis is down. Merger review is continuing apace, and this is a very odd time to be calling to shut down M&A entirely, in particular because of the important role that it can help in the economy.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly seems to me that if you thought there was a problem beforehand, then you're worried with M&A and big companies buying smaller companies, and you're more worried about it now with some of those big companies being relatively healthy and the smaller companies potentially not. But there could be some unintended consequences to freezing or shutting down this type of activity. There are companies that would very much like to be bought up by a larger company, particularly in tech?
Absolutely. What we're seeing right now, whether we're talking about private equity companies like Sycamore, large companies like Boeing, people are pulling out of deals. They want to use that capital to pay workers, to run plants, what have you. Shutting down M&A activity entirely is throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We're seeing a decline in M&A. The agencies are continuing to watch what's going on. Merger enforcement is continuing apace. It doesn't make a lot of sense to shut down merger activity entirely.
Commissioner Phillips, this is Elon. One of the parts of the proposal from Senators Warren and Representative Ocasio-Cortez is looking specifically at critical industries like PPE manufacturing during this crisis, or, for example, hospital consolidation, the healthcare industry. Could it potentially make sense to see a moratorium on mergers in specific sectors?
I don't think that makes a heck of a lot of sense. We are looking very carefully at the healthcare industry. In the last few weeks, we've gone to court to stop a hospital merger in Philadelphia. We've succeeded in preventing pharmaceutical M&A deals. We brought a Section 2 monopolization case to stop a gene sequencing merger, and we were successful in that effort. So there's absolutely no ramp down in enforcement. We continue to be vigorous in looking at the deals in front of us and examining whether their effect is competitive or anti-competitive or competitively neutral. But to shut down all M&A prevents the market from working, and I don't think that's good. I think that prevents, in many cases, capital from going to pay workers, to keep plants running, to make important investments. We want to let that market function continue to happen.
Commissioner, you also mentioned that you guys are still looking at the deals by big tech companies, some of the smaller acquisitions that they've made. What about your existing reviews? Are those continuing apace, or do you anticipate seeing some delay in those happening?
No delay at all. At the very beginning, we had to adjust, like many other people are adjusting, to working from home. But our systems are back online, and we're absolutely continuing both the merger review and all of the enforcement that we had been doing before. We have less work because there's less M&A coming in, but there's absolutely no step down in the level of enforcement going on.